Hello dear listener, dear viewer, my name is Mompoloki Lerumo Mogobe. Welcome to yet another episode of Mogobe Nuggets of Wisdom podcast. It's always a privilege and an honor to come and share with you and to talk to you on this forum. Today we're going to talk about things real estate, and I've invited to the studio Mr. Gape Pheto. Welcome, Gape.
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Take a minute or two to explain to the viewer who you are, what you're about.
My name is Gape Pheto. I'm a seasoned qualified property consultant and also an operations manager at Mogobe Incorporated, property company with distinction. I've been with Mogobe Incorporated for 2 years now.
Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. A lot of people have been challenged about property matters, and I think we're going to share with them 10 nuggets of wisdom on the process of acquisition of property, buying real estate. Yes. What are the key steps that have to be taken? Can I ask you, what is the first step that one has to undergo in acquiring real estate?
Firstly, one have to start their research early. It's very important to go and look for things like estate listings. You go to look in the magazines, property magazines. You go look into newspapers, whereby you can also have to look at the properties that meet your requirements. So you have to start as early as soon as you can, so that you have a lot of time to really get what you want in the market. Yeah.
You've been in the property business now for, I guess, many years. How many years in total?
This is my 11th year now.
Okay.
Yes.
And where you are, your function is that of an operations property manager.
Yes.
So you know these things intimately. So my next question to you: how does one determine how much they can afford in terms of a property acquisition?
Yeah, and then the second step is one have to look into the finances. You have to first try to have or gather a down payment. Normally, our lenders they will require maybe 10%, 20% down payment on your mortgage, and it also helps you to reduce the total amount in terms of the principal amount of the mortgage. So when you pay the 20% upfront, so it also gives you the privilege of maybe paying a lower repayment.
Is it affordability is based on your salary?
Yes, it's based on your income and how much is in terms of your financial income.
So do they look at what percentage of your salary remains when you buy?
Yes, they do what we call the ESR. The ESR is how much the percent. Normally, they'll
ESR.
Get,
what does that stand
for? The
ESR
is it's something like they take the net income. They calculate so that when they deduct the amount on monthly basis, you are left with 55% as a take home. So they will not want you to get all the money from your net and then you are left with nothing, because at the end of the day it's always good to have a good credit basically.
Now, you know something about credit scoring or credit assessment. Me, I'm challenged a little bit about that. How does a bank go about working out things like credit score to determine whether or not to give you a mortgage?
Yeah, normally what they do, they work with credit bureaus. They can also check with credit bureaus how is your credit history. And again, like I'm saying, your years are looking at the percentage amount after the deductions. That's when they can know what section or what type of mortgage you can get, or the amount of mortgage you can get, looking at your net. And then if your net it's way less than what they can really offer you, they'll normally encourage to maybe get a personal loan so that you clear other credits that you have, so that you increase your ESR. Yeah, that's normally
why you can look for a smaller property, I suppose. If
yeah,
that one is not affordable.
Yeah, but mostly they can also use as other assets as part of security, so that you increase.
It's always a problem for what is known as a newbie. When newbie, I mean a first-time property
owners,
for them to grapple with this. And I see that you've been appearing on radio a lot, talking about, I think the last year or so, you've been on which program?
Plot 815, Do My Firm with Boncho.
Yeah, I think on that program it's very clear what the needs are, especially for youngsters. And one of the questions that keeps coming up is, what do you do and how do you go about seeking assistance to find the right property? How does one really identify the right property?
First, you have to have an agent on your side. Someone who is a qualified agent who will help you to find a good property for you in the market. Someone who will assist you in terms of looking at the rates, what is the neighborhood, if it's a home, if it is a commercial properties, where are the right commercial properties in terms of the accessibilities. Is it the right property for you to
But I suppose an average
yeah.
person straight from school will be looking for residential.
Yes, they will. So then you have to look at things like daily commute, the amenities, those kind of things, roads.
What's the relevance of daily commute and amenities? Sometimes it's good to just simplify our message so that an ordinary person can just grab and understand.
Daily commute we normally refer to as roads, grids, like for you to move from one area to another. Is it how much time you're gonna take to reach that area? You have to look at that property that it's easily accessible, so that you'll know even if it's not in a peak hours, you can also maneuver yourself out of the neighborhood and get to where you are going to in a short time. So those are kind of things. Even when you're going for work in the morning, you have to know what kind of route you're gonna take. So, and again, it's very important to check even the property you want to. For first time home owners, you have to check even the property in the morning, in the evening, so that you know the activities that are happening around in the neighborhood. You be aware of if there's noise, disturbing things, or what is this there in the neighborhood. So you have to check the property in the morning and check it in the evening, so that you have the whole information. Yes, the idea of what is happening even at night. Because sometimes you buy in a location whereby during the day it's quiet, but at night it's noisy, and you don't want something like that. So it becomes a challenge. Yeah.
The next question that a first-time homeowner would want is, when is the right time? And first of all, how do you know is the right time, and when is normally the right time to acquire a property?
Now, after you
to make an offer, put it that way.
Okay. What you should do after all the steps that we have discussed before, getting into listings, getting the specific property that you're looking for, having checked with your down payment, you have your down payment, gather all that, after getting the pre-qualified or pre-approved credit to your mortgage, then you go out in the market with the agent, assistant or the agent. After showing you the specific property that you're looking for, you have to now look at how the property is, the fittings in the property, the physical structure of the property. You have to go in it, tour it, inspect, do your own inspection, check things like if
with or without
together with
a
the
structural
agent.
engineer, or
no, first
that comes later.
Yeah, that one can come later, but you can also do it yourself, just looking at if the other structural defects. You can maybe even turn on the taps, check if the water runs smoothly. You can put on, if it is a home, you can put on the geyser on and check if the water is heating, how long it will take to heat, all those things, electrical connections and all that, just as a pre-inspection.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Getting to the next point, because we have 10 of them here. What affects the contents of the offer? When you make that offer, what are the things you take into account to see how to structure that offer?
Yeah, typically purchase offers, they have what you call the contingent in them, whereby we have to base
contingency.
Yes, whereby you have to know before you do your due diligence. You have to also put that in the content of the purchase that you're gonna do your due diligence.
Say this offer is subject to due diligence.
Yeah. So after that, checking all what I've been saying now, the structural defect, now coming up with a qualified structural engineer, someone who will help you now in terms of technicalities now. You can have a negotiations looking at now what are the defects. Even maybe you have now attend to the plumbing works which is not properly installed. You can now say to the seller and say, no, Kefan, I've realized this from my engineer. I have to restructure the plumbing. Can I reduce with maybe 2,000? That's now you start to negotiate. Yes, looking at
what we normally do, you and I, just so the listener also benefits from this.
Yeah.
We structure the offer in a very smart way. We say that this offer is subject to not just due diligence, but bank finance.
Yes.
This is also important because you may have preliminarily qualified, right?
Yes.
But as the bank goes further to interrogate you, and as other numbers come in, because sometimes there are hidden costs, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Things like transfer fees, admin fees, all those things. If you add them up, they might affect affordability. So it's very, very important. I think this is something you've emphasized on radio.
Yeah.
Also, Mr. Hape is a radio personality. He appears on radio every week.
Yeah.
So you are more familiar with this than some of us, because people are always engaging you and asking you this. It's always good to protect yourself in the letter of offer and make this what you call contingencies clear.
Yes.
Now let's move on to the next point. I think it's number 7.
Yes.
How to choose your loan. How does the listener or the potential purchaser go about choosing the loan that they need for such an acquisition?
Now, after you've checked with now the structures of the property, now you are happy with the property or the home that you want to buy, you have to now go to your lender. Now that's the time when you negotiate the rates in terms of lending rates. You can also negotiate in the terms in terms of
interest.
Yes, in terms of interest, and then the duration of the mortgage according to what you can afford.
And what is normally available for first-time home buyers? I know that some loan periods are 10 years, some are 15, you even have some which are 30 years.
It's always advisable to get the longest one if you have this first-time home owner. Normally it's 25 years. Yes, 25. They can, depending on your age, but normally the longest is around 25 years. I don't know if there are banks who offer 30, but I know
some offer
25.
10, some offer 15. You know,
10, 15, 20,
always been given 10.
Yes, 10 as a business, but maybe as personal can go as far as 20, 25. That's the longest I think you can get, and then it eases your repayment as well. The longer the period, the lesser the repayment. So as the first time,
is it advisable to stretch it over a longer period, or is it better to get it over and done with in a shorter time?
It's for the banks, it is good for you to take a longer because they want to benefit. But personally, I'll advise to take the shorter, because the shorter the better, because you have the repayment in a short period, and your credit won't go as far as the amount that you won't even, it's going to be triple the amount that you got from
because I've heard it said that when you calculate and work out the interest, how much you pay the bank and how much you have actually spent on them, sometimes it's 3 times more or 4 times more.
If it's a longer period, you'll end up paying even 3 times, because that's what the bank actually, or lenders looking for. They want to benefit. That's why most of the time when you say, no, I'll pay my mortgage in 10 years, they start saying, no, but it's going to be heavy for you, it's going to be low, what can't you take 20? Because they want to benefit in terms of,
And there's nothing wrong with it. They're in business.
No,
but it's in your interest to watch out. It's a case of buyer beware.
Yeah, so it's very important for one to really look at the most suitable period and interest. You have to go around the market in terms of banks, shop around to look which bank will really fit on your requirements in terms of repayment. You have to look at the ones which will be able to give you a room to negotiate in terms of rates and interest.
There's a thing here, number 8, that I want to ask you. What is a home appraisal? Is it the same thing in this part of the world that we call valuation, or is it something different?
It's one and the same thing. Some they call it appraisal, some they call it evaluation. So it's whereby you go to a qualified valuer, or a bank will also assign. Normally banks assign, if you get the lenders, they assign the valuers. There are some panels of valuers who normally work with the bank. You go, they will assign you, or they give you a list of values and say, okay, fine, you can get.
Why is that important to get an appraisal or evaluation?
It's very important because one, you have to get exact value of the property that you are buying, and also the lender, whoever is giving you the money, also know is it the property, is it worth what you are really giving? Is it worth for the money that we are giving this client? So also it guides them in terms of when the prices in that areas, whether is it something that they can continue giving credit to people or mortgages within that area. Is it something that is valuable, or they are just low values? Yeah, just to determine the value and give them the idea of the markets. Yeah.
Paperwork is very important when you are involved in property acquisition. The issue of coordination of paperwork.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about that?
Yes, it's very important to come up with the paperwork. We also, earlier on, we mentioned the contingency in terms of the offers. When you're doing the paperwork, you have to gather all the information that is really need to you to facilitate for the transfers and all that. You help with your lender to provide your financials, all the requirements they need, all the
and who assists you with all that? The estate agent or the lawyer, or who?
3 of them: the lawyer, the lender, and the estate agent. Both of them are involved, because the estate agent will help you with the offer, and then the lender will help you also to how to determine your repayment, and the attorney will help you in terms of conveyancing and transfers. So that paperwork, all of it, it's a lot of paperwork. So you need those people to really assist you on that, because you can't do it alone. You have to gather there and there and get all the bunch of papers so that you submit, because it's really a lot of paperwork. So you need those professionals to assist. Yeah.
So get the paperwork in order.
Yes.
All right. How do we close the sale? How does the process of closing?
Coming to closing, now we come into the interesting part now, where you have ticked all the boxes, everything is done. You have provided the lender with the necessary documents. The seller is also, you have also shake the hands. The check is already paid to the seller. The bank is happy with the value, and now you sign off the mortgage. Now you agree on the terms and all that. They give you the documentation or the titles that you say, this is
that when transfer is taking place?
Yeah,
does close take place at transfer, or it takes place when the deed of sale is signed?
No, it takes time now. When the bank release the check to the seller, now they give you the ownership of the property. That's when you close the deal, and they give you the keys. You go to your property, you start to enjoy it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always talk to the listeners about a bonus. I always give them a bonus.
Yes.
So I see here that it's written Mogobe Inc. I want you to share with the listeners what this company does, what's your role in it, what other services it offers.
Yes, Mogobe Incorporated is, like I've mentioned in the beginning, it's a property company with distinction, which means we really want to offer our clients the best of the service that we can in the market. We are a real estate company whereby we provide accommodation to to tenants in either residential, commercial, industrial, and we even have other businesses or other sister companies that we have. We provide hospitality, we have the schools, we have the restaurants, and and we have the nuggets as well, like what we are doing now. So we have a lot of things that we are doing.
So what is your specific role in Mogobe Inc?
My specific role, I'm a property manager. At the same time, I'm doing all the operations of the company. As a property manager, basically what I'm doing is to have a good relationship with tenants, all the tenants, and to really understand the whole portfolio of Mogobe Incorporated in terms of real estate. I have to manage the whole portfolio. I have to get to know which property is where and what is happening where every day. And my other role is also to take care of every operation in the company, whereby to go with the maintenance. Yes, even my...
Sounds like you have a very, very exciting job. How do the viewers access Mogobe Incorporated, or even yourself? Are you available on social media?
We have a Facebook page, Mogobe Incorporated. Our viewers can also check on that. We're also located at Plot 170, Unit 14, Commerce Park. We are also having our other business that we offer a very good business or for small SMEs. It's called Mogobe Office Park. It's located in the main mall extension 2, where we have various types of offices which can accommodate different budgets. We know a lot of people will want to get a lower rental, but they want to run that small business. So we have something that can accommodate
and
them.
You're working on how many now? I know that two. I
That
believe you're working on a third one.
Yes, now we are working on a third one. We really want to accommodate the SMEs. We had the cry in the market, so we want to accommodate them because we are offering a very competitive rentals.
Thank you, Mr. Gape, for a very exciting interview and sharing with us. It only remains for me to ask you, please, to talk to your viewers.
Yes.
And invite them to share and to also subscribe to this channel.
Yes, no, definitely. I'll do that. Thank you.
Oh, you're not doing that now?
Yeah, no, I'll add my viewers to really subscribe to the Nuggets of Wisdom, and also to check on our Facebook page, Mogobe Incorporated. That's where they can get more of what we are doing. And feel free also to call my number 7138-1980 or 7485-4746 for further explanations and further assistance.
Thank you very much for honoring our invitation.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.